If you love stencils, this next technique might be one of your favorites because we're combining inks, stencils, and paste. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Tiffany Solorio, and welcome back to day 9 of 20 days of creative play. Now, if you have not already downloaded your free PDF, be sure to do so because I am working on a class format. It's going to be completely free, and once it's ready, I want to make sure that you have access to it. So be sure to sign up for the free PDF, and then that will put you on my email list where I will send out all of the information when the class is ready. Now, if you are loving all of these mixed media techniques, be sure to check out my newest Mixed Media Foundations class happening September 6th. A link to that will be in the description box below as well. Now for day 9, we are going to be doing layered stenciling, 1 layer with paste and 1 layer with ink. Now, because we're going to be doing some ink blending, I think this is a waffle flower grip mat. I don't think that they sell these anymore. You can get an Ulta new one, but I like to use this one just for ink blending. And then I am going to be using these 2 stencils. I am going to be doing a larger design for the ink blending and then a smaller design over top with the paste. I don't know if I've ever done this before, to be completely honest. So we're gonna see how it turns out. Now I am going to use the same colors that I've been using just to keep the supply list pretty simple. I don't want to get it too crazy. All right, so I am using Bristol smooth cardstock. Someone had suggested that to me when I did the ink blending, and I was like, oh yes, I have some of that somewhere. So I found it. And then I'm also keeping with the same colors. That way it just kind of keeps things simple. Whoops. And then that way we don't have to worry about so many different supplies and all of that. So I'm gonna try to hold that down. There we go. So I'm just gonna ink blend, and these are my cheap ink blending tools. They do blend beautifully on the Bristol. I forgot about my Bristol. Okay, and then we'll go in with a little bit of the pink. All right, I do want to try to lift this up and then carefully align it-ish because I want this to be a full background. So I'm just going to do that. It's not going to be perfect, but once we add the other paste and some water splatters and, you know, all the things, I don't think it's going to really matter that much. But I do want to make sure that I have a full background here. I'm going to add a lot more blue on this side. I feel like the pink and the purple definitely are taking over. All right, so there are a million different ways to do backgrounds and mixed media techniques and the process. So this is just one way. All right, so in my mind, it makes sense for me to do like the flat layers first, which would be ink blending in this case. If I were to do stamping, I would do stamping as well before adding the texture paste. I think I want to do the grip paste, and I'm just going to smooth this out because I don't want a lot. And I really love this glass mat because it's magnetic, so I'm able to kind of hold everything in place. And I'm just gonna start swiping away here. I don't want it to be perfect. And I definitely don't want it to be all over. So I think that's pretty good. And now I'm gonna switch it to the other side the best I can. And because we did not seal the ink, some of that paste is going to pick up some of that color behind there. So it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm just gonna add, I like the grit paste. All right, I think that is good. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna let this dry and then we're gonna add some water splatters. All right, we're going to add some water splatters just because the inked background, the inking that we did is just a little too perfect for me. So we need to add some water to get that moving around a little bit, give it a little bit more texture, and then we're gonna dry this. All right, we're gonna add a little bit more water, and I did flip my paper so that I'm coming at the paper at a different angle. And we're gonna dry again. I absolutely love how this turned out, and adding those water splatters, of course, makes it that much better in my opinion. Let me know if you do this technique, and if you do you have to add water splatters to your ink blended backgrounds? I always do because they're just a little too perfect for me. I would love to know your thoughts. And I actually really love how some of that ink got into that paste and colored some of the ink as well. I have paste all over my hands, but this was so much fun. And all of these simple techniques are just reminding me just to kind of get back to the basics and not to overthink things. I think that's what I have learned, even just in doing these techniques myself, just to take a step back, and simple is sometimes better. I'm always trying to come up with, more elaborate ideas, but I always forget that just the simplest things like ink blending and then adding paste over top and then just a little bit of water, how amazing the background can look. I absolutely love this. And again, if you give this a try, don't forget to tag me on social media. I would love to see your take on these prompts. If you haven't already, be sure to download that PDF. And I want to thank you all so much for stopping by. And as always, don't forget to stay creative, and I will catch you all for day 10.